All right, everybody. So we have kind of a fun title, as you noticed, which I hope is what brought you to our show. Um, Punching Marshmallows is perfect for this time in all of our lives. Mary actually came up with the title. Do you want to give us a little bit of background about that?
Okay, it's sort of like giving into the futility of trying to make plans in this time. Um, we're all in this sort of limbo, and you stick a little finger in one direction, and then something else pops up, and it's just frustrating for all of us that are at this point in our lives are used to making decisions and acting on them, and just that frustration that sort of causes for us all. But it's a pretty colorful term, and you could obviously, we had many different interpretations of what it means. That's my input.
So I'd like, we have our other two owners of Remark are here as well. Lincoln and Jessica, would you guys introduce yourselves? Say hello.
Sure, I'll go first. I'll jump in. My name's Jessica Crisholls. We're two Jessicas, so you may have had different correspondence with us. And we were sitting around this spring, trying right after things started shutting down for COVID, and we always do a photo-based show in the summer, a call for entry. And this year we're all feeling extremely frustrated that all of our momentum from all of our plans. We just had to cancel a residency for artists. Artists were coming the following week, and we'd had to cancel that. And we were just feeling that artists needed an outlet and a place to show their work. Of course, this whole situation of the pandemic has probably we're all sick of it, and it's not ending. And so this show is just in the middle of it all, but it's been really neat to see what everyone came up with. And it's also the virtual thing that we're doing has been great because it's giving us a chance to see artists and talk to them more. So that is one really positive upside. We've been enjoying that. And you guys can see us and see the actual space. So that's a good sign. So anyway, thank you so much for coming. And we don't want to talk too much. We want to see the art and let you guys talk. So that's that.
I guess, hi, I'm Lincoln, and I'm the fourth owner. Yeah, I mean, I think Mary and Jessica have said it pretty well. I mean, we were definitely interested in the artwork that came in, and it's obviously this moment is kind of stirring a lot of feelings in people, and it's coming out in the artwork. But so I think it's an interesting little collection of prints, and we're always interested in exploring the boundary between photography and printmaking. I myself am a photographer, and I do photopolymer prints from my photos. So it's like I'm always really interested to see how other people are kind of taking the basic elements and doing something that's very different from what I would imagine. So it's one of the benefits we have of seeing people's work from all over the country, really. So, yeah. So Jessica, did you want me to start showing the pieces, or?
Let's look at the slideshow first.
Okay.
So I have a slideshow, and if you are an artist in the show and you see your piece come up on the screen, please feel free to unmute yourself and say hello.
Hello, my name is Sadie, and this is one of my pieces that got into the show. I was really thrilled to be a part. Can y'all hear me? Yeah? So anyway, I studied photography, and when I was living in New York City, and I had been taking classes at the Art League, and I was working on a series called Illusions of the Eye. And so all of my plans were basically trash. So what I did at the beginning is I started reviewing my test print, and also the idea of working in a more authentic way, because I have a tendency to be very perfectionistic, and I thought that it's really more about the making of the art and embedding kind of meaning into what is happening in my life. So this was the first piece that I did, and I really didn't like it because I was having trouble with the polymer plate hitting the transparency, and it gave me all these dots. As you can see, they're everywhere. And then when I looked at it, I trashed it. I put test print, do again on the back, and I erased it off after I finished it. But I thought, wow, when I go outside, I feel like that there are all these little viruses around. So I kind of connected to the fear of something invisible, but in this piece, I made it visible. So.
Cool.
I messed up, you guys. Give me a second. I'll be
Okay.
back. Oh, did I lose the whole thing?
Thank you guys for being here, because it's you know, we all get Zoom fatigue, so it's nice to see you all here.
Thank you. Are there actually people coming in tonight to see the work, or, I mean, would there be people to show up, or is it?
Can she hear us?
Yeah, you can talk.
Yeah.
People, there's no one here but at the owners.
Oh, wow.
The shop is open, but we have presented to our Albuquerque public, you know, that we're open Fridays and Saturdays now to the public, but for the most part, people have stayed away.
Right. I was
But
just curious.
this wonderful Zoom application has afforded people to chime in whenever they want to, so it's kind of fun.
Yeah, that's great.
Anyway.
It's just small technical difficulties. It's okay. Sadie, were we on your second piece?
No, just the first one. With
Okay.
the second piece is rather different, but that's okay. This was the second piece, and the second piece kind of has a very different psychological twist. It's not about being fearful or angry or upset. It's more about a meditative state of accepting what is appearing before you. And in this piece, I just took a more meditative response to my test print, and I applied watercolor, and I used it as drawing with very fine lines. So for me, this was a very different kind of perception of how I would relate to my emotions as they would appear. And I found that particularly at the beginning, there was a lot of ups and downs, and I saw it manifest in my work.
And Sadie is going to do a formal artist talk about this work with us on July 17th, same time, same Zoom link. So please join us for that.
Yeah, please do. I look forward to doing it.
All right, Meredith, are you with us? Now all of a sudden lost my control of everything. Okay. Briar? I don't think so. Nancy? Oh, wait. Okay. There's Nicholas. Dee Dee, you're here. Do you want to say anything?
Yeah, thank you. I'm just delighted to be a part of this because I'm neither a printmaker nor a photographer except with my iPhone. So at the beginning of the pandemic, as an artist, I have been working with cyanotype for several years, but I usually make my own cyanotype media and use it in a variety of ways. But during the sort of the early phases of the lockdowns time, I wasn't going to my studio, and I happened to have these pre-treated cotton cloth panels. And so I thought, well, and both my husband and I have worked in healthcare ourselves, so we're very, just super hyper vigilant about everything. And I had some supplies and stuff, medical supplies, just extra stuff. He's a physician. I used to work in a laboratory. And so I started pulling out all this stuff I had in bottles and looking for things that were sort of missing at the time. And some are still missing now. So I made a series of just here at my home. They were a little different, if you know the cyanotype. So I made a couple at a time, these handmade things, this DIY stuff, and I decided I should start maybe adding sort of as a tribute to all the people that are making masks at home. Maybe I should just embellish or do a little stitch work, which I hadn't done in many years, on these cloth panels. And this particular one of the series is just some empty medicine bottles. I know everyone at the beginning was so worried about, and there were so many rumors about if you take this, if you take this lozenge, you can prevent it, or if you take this, you can prevent it, and blah, blah, blah. So I just pulled out a bunch of old medicine bottles and packets, and that's what this particular image is of, and then I just sort of went over it with some stitching. To tell you the truth, it wasn't my favorite of the ones I submitted or of the series that I've since almost done. I have about 25 panels now, and I'll show some of those in my art talk. That I left it sort of crude, and I felt like this is such a crude time. I mean, we're just all sort of uncertain about how things are going to happen. I love the imagery of the missing medicines, and because we really didn't know what the missing vaccine, the missing everything's missing. And so that's kind of, that was sort of the premise for this series of work. But I thank you guys for taking it. I'm just thrilled. Plus, I'm from Texas, and I love New Mexico, and I was just praying that I could come to see the show myself. And my son lives in Santa Fe and works in Los Alamos. So I've been many times, and I hope to be there again someday soon. So thank you.
You're welcome. We're pleased that you have joined us, and we are just delighted to have your piece in the show. And your talk, Dee Dee's talk, is going to be on August 7th, 5 p.m. this Zoom link. So please join us then.
Thanks.